So I grew up with multiple movies that my family loved and I was not the biggest fan of, and two of the chief among those were Brother Bear and Brave. But recently, I've been trying to grow an appreciation for my Scottish heritage, and I live in Alaska, so I'm like, why not? Let's check these out again. And I had my thoughts. And I thought, what would be a better way to compare them? Because they are very similar concepts. Someone turns into a bear and learns a lesson. So let's jump in and compare them and see which one is the better movie, and do I actually like them now? Starting with the story. Brave tells the story of a young woman named Merida, who is a Scottish princess, and she's a wild child. But her mother is a lot more strict and is trying to train her up to be a proper princess. And one day, 3 other clans come, each bringing a son to compete for her hand in marriage. But she is not a fan of this option, so she outshows all of them, and then after having a fight with her mom, she goes into the woods where she finds a witch who tells her that she can change her fate. But instead of just changing her mom's opinion on the whole situation, it turns her mom into a bear. And so she has to go on an adventure to learn to appreciate her mother, while her mother has to learn to appreciate her. Meanwhile, Brother Bear tells the story of a native man who, after his brother gets killed protecting him from a bear, he goes and seeks out revenge on the bear. Because of the unfairness of him killing this bear who wasn't actually to blame for his brother's death, he gets turned into a bear to learn a lesson. And so he goes on a journey discovering his tie to nature and learning to appreciate all of nature and not just humans. So when it comes down to it, I live in Alaska, and so I now have a little more of appreciation for the story of Brother Bear, and a lot of the scenery in it is very familiar to me. And the story is good, but I will say that it didn't really stand out to me as that incredible of a story. It was kind of just a Disney movie. That's really all I thought of it. It was like, after watching it again, I'm like, yeah, like I had appreciation for some of the stuff about this, but in the end, it's just a very simple story. In my opinion, it wasn't that incredible. Simple story. While Brave, at the heart of the story, is this beautiful message of a mother and a daughter learn to love each other. Every beat in the movie seems to fit just right. It doesn't add too much that's unnecessary. It allows you to have that depth of those other myths in the story. Brother Bear had some of that too, but it's like Brave really had that, like, you had that depth of these other stories while also not going too in depth with them and allowing them to just be background, like, myths. And so I think Brave honestly has the better story because of that. Now onto our main characters. Starting with Brave. Merida is a pretty likable character. She's very relatable. That free spirit is very independent. Scottish spunk to her is just very relatable and very, like, well-grounded, and her journey through the story shows the depth in this character. Her design is well done. She's very unique. She's definitely not on my top list of characters, but she is a well-grounded character that brings the story to life. While Kenai, he's a character, like, that's really all I can give to him. Like, he's not terrible. I can't say he's incredible. In my opinion, he's just okay. He's not terrible. He's one of those characters that he's just like, yeah, he's a character in the story. He's relatable. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm Scottish that Brave just seems more relatable, more likable, and a better rounded character than Kenai, so I'm gonna give this one also to Brave. Now onto the side characters. In my opinion, Brave's side characters is probably one of the best parts of this whole movie. You have the leaders of the 4 tribes. They're all pretty fun. The little brothers are enjoyable. The mother, who is, I guess, kind of, you could put her in the main character category too, but as I mentioned in my review of Brave, she's definitely the strongest character of the story. Not just from storytelling, like she's also that too, but just she's a badass in the story. But just all the characters are well-rounded characters. They're fun, they bring the story to life, and it allows you to have that, like, Scottish humor to it, but it wasn't taken away from the story having it. While with Little Bear, outside of the main character and a couple other characters, none of the side characters are good at all. The moose are one of the most annoying parts of the whole story. The Little Bear, he's supposed to be kind of annoying, but there was also some heartfelt parts about him, and that's okay, but I don't know. The side characters in Brother Bear is just lackluster, and it takes away from the story by having all these stupid jokes in it, and it's just like, I don't really like the side characters, so this point also goes to Brave. Now onto the animation. This one is kind of hard to compare them because one has the animation of a straight to DVD release, and the other one has the animation of, wow, I'm not the biggest fan of the modern 3D animation. I love my hand-drawn animation, and it would have been cool if it was in hand-drawn animation, but overall, it looked really good, and there's some great shots in the movie of Brave. While with Little Bear, if you look at the posters for it, it's like, oh yeah, that could look great. And honestly, I think that what really takes away from the story so much is like, there was some great scenery in this, because it's Alaska and all, but the color grading and all of this movie just takes away from it. Like, look at the bear. Like, if you look at the poster versus what it actually looks like in the movies, like, oh, yeah, they need to darken him up a little bit more. It's like he's too bright. There are some great moments of like scenery and all, but like you probably needed to darken it up a little bit and like animate the characters a little bit more. It really looks like a straight to DVD release, and so it's hard to compare them because Brave has incredible scenery. The animation brings the story to life, even if I don't like the 3D animation as much. But the 2D animation of Brother Bear should have a leg up on that. It's just the animation is not too top tier, while the top tier animation of Brave really takes the cake. So this point also goes to Brave. And the last point is that of the music. Another point that I feel like is really hard to compare them, because Brother Bear's music, On My Way, is a pretty rememberable song, but outside of that, Brother Bear doesn't have that much memorable music. While Brave, well, not all the music stands out to me, especially the instrumental moments are like, to me, they were very much like, these are incredible. They bring the story more to life. It's, again, I really feel like while I'm comparing these movies, only reason why I feel like I can give Brother Bear a chance at all is just because I live in Alaska and have a little more appreciation for the story because of that. But deep down, I'm Scottish and Irish. So while I don't listen to a bunch of pub music and all that all the time, I do go on my little like moods where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna listen to a bunch of pub songs or just, you know, different music like that. Like, I'm naturally, it's in my blood to want to have that, the Irish, Scottish, the Celtic spirit to me. So some of these songs, though, like, you know, playing the bagpipes, it's just like, that's very relatable to me. So yeah, I'm gonna have to give this point also to Brave. So in the end, yeah, there wasn't even a competition really. It came down to just, in the end, I hated these movies both as a kid. Now, I don't hate Brother Bear. It hasn't really changed my opinion too much on Brother Bear. It's still not that great of a movie. While Brave, I have changed my opinion on it. I think it's a good movie now. It's not my favorite Disney movie, but it's still a great movie. I love the fact that, you know, as a Scottish person, I've never lived in Scotland or have been to Scotland, so people who have actually been there and actually have lived there would probably have a better understanding on Scottish stuff than I would. But I still have that like built into me Scottish heritage and all, so I'm like, I love my heritage. And so what makes Brave so great is it said, hey, we are making this movie for people who are Scottish, people who have appreciation for Scotland and all. And it's just like, we're not going to try to woke size it. We're not going to do all, we're just going to make this movie. If you are Scottish and you love Scottish stories, you're probably going to like this because it's Scottish. And so I like that movie. Well, with, I have that appreciation for Brother Bear of, I live in Alaska now, but I'm not an Alaskan native. And I've only lived in Alaska for 9 months now, and so I can't really speak too much to Alaska because it's not built into my blood as much. And so I have appreciation for the story it tells because it brings Alaska to life, but it's kind of a mediocre movie in the end. So if it wasn't for the fact that I felt like these really worked together as a good comparison, I probably wouldn't have compared them, because when it comes down to it, is Brother Bear is nowhere close to being on the level of Brave. So anyways, guys, tell me your thoughts below. If you disagree with me on any of these points, let me know. I am more than willing to hear what you have to say on this. I'm not that passionate on how great Brave is or anything, so if you are hating on Brave, I'm not going to care that much. If you love Brave and you hate Brother Bear, hopefully you appreciated this. If you like Brother Bear and you hated Brave, hopefully you can find some way to enjoy or hate on this video. I don't know, do what you want, I don't really care. But the point is, that's my opinion. I think they can be compared, but it's really hard to compare them from the fact that one is just 10 times better than the other one. So with that being said, thank you for watching. This has been the Movie Night Review. Till next time, Peter Wary signing off.